So, all right, it looks like we're ready to go live, so I'm hitting the go live button here. And, connection's not looking super fantastic. All right, we'll see how that plays out. Good morning, everybody. As always, welcome to the channel. So I'm just getting a couple of things set up here. And, well, we're seeing what's going on. It looks like I'm having a bit of an issue with the stream speed. So I'm just checking over here. And let's see. Hold on one moment. All right, so stream's not looking like it's at the best quality this morning. I'm sorry about that. So we have Sparklight or Cable One here, and the other week when I did one, we used my portable hotspot for the iPhone, and that went really well. So I'm just taking a look down here to see what the throughput is. Not really sure how awesome this is going to be this morning. My apologies. So I see we've got a couple people on channel. So welcome. My first question to all of you is that, let's see, YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. All right, so we're having a bit of a technical issue this morning. I'm wondering if I switch over to the iPhone, if that would be better, because I'm seeing the stream bounce in and out. So to folks who are on the stream right now, how's it looking to you? Is it behaving strangely? Is it buffering? What's going on? I'll wait and see if I get an announcement back. In the meantime, as I said, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host. Normally we're talking about drones and photography and sometimes travel. I'd like to get back to more travel. Okay, Michael, thank you. And by the way, for this morning, so we've got the Rode Wireless Go set up. So I've been experimenting and trying to come up with some ways to shrink down what's on my desk. There we go. So for those of you who've already popped in recently, we just got a new Mac Mini M1. I'm going to be making that my primary system shortly. So I've been doing a little bit of testing, including testing with the Rode, because as you may know on the new Mac Minis, there's not a lot of ports on it. So hooking it up to my Blue Yeti is going to take a port. Doing the camera is going to take a port. So every single one of these things takes a port. And I was thinking, hey, let's use the Rode Wireless that we use outside for inside. Okay, jerky buffering, Corey says. Okay, let me take a look over there. Oh, now it's saying that it's green and going good. So we'll see about that now. Video looks like 1 frame per second. Morning, Rich. You're a little robotic, so it's buffering. All right, now it should be cleaning up for everyone momentarily here. Patrick Hobie, Dad. Okay, who's Dad? But let me see here again. Yeah, it's still bouncing around a little bit. Lol, Mac. Yep. But I'm not only a Mac user, I also am a Windows user as well. Let me see really quick here if we're going to continue having this as a headache. All right, it says the stream's back to normal again. So, oh, and I forgot to turn off the mail. So I try to get rid of as many background distractions as possible. All right, it says, yeah, and Bruce says that it's now smoother, on track now. All right, so hey, we just spent 2 minutes messing around. So let me rewind and recap here. So getting everything ready and moving some of my gear around in the studio, I've made a decision to use the Rode Wireless Go for the audio input. So I'm testing it out. I tested it a couple of days ago as well. I did a quick live stream. And so far, it sounds like I'm getting some good reaction to it, so that's awesome. What's interesting with this is the Rode Wireless Go, not smooth now. Okay, let's take a look at that. Wow, and it says excellent connection right now. Oh, YouTube. I hope it's YouTube, but I do know that the network here in Prescott sometimes is not at its best either, so I might be missing the old house a little more than I thought I would. All right, smooth again. What a riot. Hey, it's live, right? So it's a live stream. Anything can happen. So yeah, getting everything set up and getting everything ready to migrate. I'll still be keeping my iMac for a couple other projects. I'm still going to use that for some of my web work, but the primary editing stuff is now going to be moved over to the Mac Mini M1. I want to answer a question that somebody asked last week. They dropped a note and they were wondering about the new silicon chips from Mac and Metashape for doing 2D and 3D modeling. So I have checked it out, and online, if you go over to Metashape's forums, you'll see other people who have tested the Mac Minis, the M1s, and one person who tested one of the new laptops. Everybody is running Metashape okay, and so I had the question asked to me, hey, what Mac should I get? I wouldn't recommend getting any Mac right now if your sole purpose is doing modeling. Take a pass on that for the moment. Let's see how everybody else comes along with it. Let's see if there's going to be a development fork for Metashape with the new Macs. But it is runnable, so if you went out and got one of the new M1s, yeah, you can run Metashape on it. It doesn't seem to run much faster than when I've run Metashape on this machine. And like I said, for this year upcoming, depending on the equipment budget, because a lot of expenditures have happened in the last month, I would like to build a new Windows platform for just strictly for modeling purposes. So yes, you can generate models on the Mac, and if you've been with this channel for a while, you've seen that I generate models with the Mac. But it's a slow process. So I know that if I had a system with more RAM and better GPU, it depends on which platform we're talking about. But something that's more upgradable that can grow with the mapping and modeling side of the house, it's going to be a Windows machine because we can't get in and alter our Macs, right? I can't put a new drive in the new ones. I can't, we can't do anything with them. We're kind of locked out where we used to be able to upgrade things. Let me just check over. Okay, video and audio are fine now, so that's good. That's awesome. So my recommendation to the person who asked that question last week on YouTube, it's a really simple one. I would not buy a Mac today with the purpose of doing modeling with it. So that's my 2 cents. And like I said, I've run some sizable models. I just have to load up the models on the iMac and walk away and forget about it for a while. That's usually what I'll do, go take a walk or work on another machine. But I think the Windows experience for doing mapping and modeling is faster for folks if you're building a system to meet those. All the testing and talking about that, let's talk about, so I've got 3 things today, and let me check. So I keep making little show notes for myself. One thing that I do like about the Apple ecosystem is I like the notes, their little notes screen, because I type something into my mobile and it's on my notes on the computer, so that's awesome. So I always have my little important notes with me and they're always synchronized. So that's something really nice with Apple. So first one, last week I spent a ton of time doing editing and catching up on weeks of neglect. Since we were in the middle of our move, a lot of things fell by the wayside, including I've been working on several last week for the big testing of the Mac Mini. I did a lot of editing and a lot of new recording. And so one of the first things that I did was finished off something that had been sitting in the to-do pile, which was a course on building virtual tours with Kuula. What I'm going to start doing over the next couple of weeks and months is actually doing more in-depth video series on different 360 viewers, different 360 online viewers. So we started out with Kuula. I'm going to be doing Theta Z1 in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be doing Cloud Pano in the next couple of weeks. So I've got a list for myself in my notes folder of the new classes that I'm going to be popping up for 360s. Now 360s can be done with drones, so exterior 360s, and then you can also do the interior ones. So I did a specific one of a real estate property for the Kuula class, and you could translate that right on over to drone work as well. So I can build tours from the drone, I can build tours from inside of a house, we can do walking tours, and Kuula was the actual 360 presenter that we chose last year when we were making our decisions on, there goes YouTube again. So you guys might notice a glitch again, but we'll keep that going. All right, there we go. So yeah, last week I finally got to finish that tour, which was absolutely thrilling to me, just to have it done. And let's see here, the Dalton house. So very nice. I'm going to minimize this one now, and we will bring this on over. So in that new series that I'm doing, and I've got bits and pieces of it up on YouTube as well, but so you don't have to go. But so I actually do a full walkthrough from the point of importing all of the images to connecting all of the different parts of the tour and the walkthrough. And we actually went through just about every single feature that Kuula has to offer. And there's some really awesome features. And I've been asked a lot of questions by people on my shorter videos here. Things like, can you do a walkthrough mode? And the answer is yes. Not only is there, can you do a walkthrough mode, there's also a click anywhere mode. And I think I've got this one turned on to click anywhere. So I just clicked anywhere, because I had the actual navigation arrow over here, but I clicked to the upper left, and sure enough, the click anywhere worked. So we literally spend just about 2 hours going through setting up a virtual tour, but the bigger part isn't so much, uploading the images or anything. It's actually getting all the links together and putting things together in a format that you like, a sensible walkthrough format. So in this case, I'm going to try that click anywhere again. I'm going to click over toward those doors instead of the arrow that was right here. And so it did that. So the click anywhere feature does work, but it takes a little bit of work to get used to it. But the big thing is the walkthrough mode is really nice, because the direction you're facing in, if you click in that direction on the walkthrough, and see, I need to move my link over. So in that class, I also talk about the fact that, you're going to have to tinker with these things and tweak them as you move along with doing some of these. So like I said, it's like a 2-hour class, and so we walk through our former house that's now cleared out and on the market for sale, and we just take people through a nice quick walkthrough. So this isn't a high-end one or anything. It's all about showing people how Kuula works and if that might be a good platform for you. I can't wait to do the Theta Z one, because I really like Theta Z a lot, but I want all of you to see what I've seen, which was the pixelation of the images on Theta Z was really noticeable. So there was a lot of noise, and you take the same images and you throw them in a Kuula or a Cloud Pano, and you stick them next to a Theta Z, and people will think, hey, this must be a whole different set of photos or something, because it doesn't look like it at all. All right, so that was one of my cleanup items from the backlog of things, was finally finishing that one out. So that's over on the AZ Drone Teachable site. Same with the next one, which is actually a totally free walkthrough class, and that's a Drone Aerial 360 Tours. I could have put the pieces up on YouTube, but I just decided just to package them up in one place. Aerial 360 Tours, let's see here. Yes, and I have other screens to show later. So last summer, we started doing a lot of 360s for fun and for a side project. And this is something else that all of us as drone operators can do and imaging professionals can do, is you don't always have to wait for the client call. You can get out there and start building test tours for yourself. And sometimes you might find that you created something awesome for your portfolio. So one of the big things that I was doing last summer is hitting some of the highlight points of the Prescott area, both with a 360 terrestrial camera, a Canon D7 with a Nodal Ninja head, and also with the drone to show off these really amazing recreational locations here in Prescott. And so if you've been a long-time follower on this channel, you've probably seen Watson Lake. You're probably sick of Watson Lake. But on this one, what we do, it's a high-level overview of putting together 360 virtual tours with your drone. The biggest part is what you're seeing right now on screen. This was basically all rendered by the drone. So when I fly the Mavic 2 Pro, there is a Pano mode on it, and we talk about that in that little class. not only is there a pano mode on it, it will also save out the original images that go into creating your pano. So you can take the results right out of your drone. You can take that micro SD card, plug it in at the home office, and have a pretty good tour, because this tour that I'm showing you right now that we're seeing doing a slow pan in the background, this was all the Mavic 2 Pro, and this is actually the images rendered from the Mavic 2 Pro. So they were stitched together in the camera, basically. I also, for each of these 360s, had 26 images, and those 26 images I could actually drag into something like PT GUI for a 360 stitcher, and PT GUI would assemble basically a very similar one. The thing is, though, since these are DNGs, all the separate files, you can do some additional fine-tuning and tweaking to get those colors where you want, the sharpness where you want, etc. But so I spent some of that time last week working on this one as well. One thing I should note about this, so I was working on a lot of videos last week, is how fast this stupid M1 chip is. I mean, I was ready to throw in the towel on Mac just a couple of months ago and just switch completely back to Windows again, because I felt like Apple was failing us and not bringing professional grade systems out at reasonable costs. And I'm not saying that the Mini is professional grade or anything, but I am saying, wow, what it does awesome. So my editing time was cut by more than 70%. I'm not kidding you. I was loading some of these video clips into Final Cut. They were transcoding just instantly. Normally when I do bigger videos, when I'm doing classes, I literally throw things in, I let the transcoding process happen. I go out on the back patio, I go take a walk through the neighborhood, whatever, because I know this is going to take a while, and it gets painful at some points. Also, while I was using Final Cut, I also had Photoshop up, I had Lightroom up, I was doing exports, I was resizing things, I was picking out clips for the videos, and I was just cruising along. So it was really a nice change to not have to wait on my equipment. Now, this is something else that you got to think about as you're building your drone business. Let's take a look over. Okay, no other notes, but it's saying that it's running a little slower again on the connection, so sorry about that. But one thing that I've talked about in other classes and on YouTube in general is that, the gears of the gear that we have. So of course, newer equipment is going to help us out on some levels and speed things along, and sometimes newer software equipment is not going to. Oftentimes newer software slows us down. But anywhere that I can find time savings in the jobs that I'm doing for clients, for my own videos, if it's saving me a half an hour per video, or 45 minutes per fully completed long video, that is huge. That's 45 minutes or an hour of time that I can dedicate elsewhere. And I was getting to the point with the iMac just a couple of weeks ago that I felt things were unworkable. By the way, on this one, I just want to zoom in here since we're looking here. Check out all the kayaks that were out on Watson that day. So one of the things I love with these virtual tours is, we can really stop these things for a moment and take a look at what's happening in the scenes. We can see everything. And so that's something I really dig about 360s. And yes, video and stills, we've got that for our drones as well. But it takes very little time or effort if you're out doing a flight for video or for still photos for a client or B-roll. It takes very little time to throw one of these 360s together in camera. So if you've got the storage space, you've got the time. And also in these 360s, you can also add total video presentations. So, to show off more of that area that you're featuring. So there's so many options for both interior and exterior 360s. It's not funny. And so I was just thrilled to pieces to finally, get these two out of the to-do list. And let me take a look back over now. All right, everybody's still looking okay, and let's just go double check. It says that it's excellent connection, but it says that the what's it saying exactly? That the kilobits per second are pretty low. So I do apologize if it's bouncing in and out on you. Didn't mean for that to happen this morning. All right, so we've talked about building tours with Kuula, so that's what I was working on last week. The drone aerial 360 tours, that's what I was working on last week. And then a good bit of this weekend has been spent with the Rode Wireless Go system. So I've regularly used this microphone setup outside when I'm doing some instructional things for YouTube or for the Teachable site. Oh, and let me just pop that up real quick. So if you're interested in any of the classes or just seeing the new stuff, lower right hand corner, az-drone.teachable.com. Like I said, the drone aerial 360 tours one, about 2 hours, and it's free. So it's linked down below as well. So, go check it out, and maybe you'll find some valuable little tidbits. I know a lot of people on channel here, you're already doing your drone work, you're building your drone businesses, you're doing a lot of this stuff. So we're all growing together. And so when I do those things outside, I've been using the Rode Wireless Go, and I've had a couple of issues. Let me see. Corey Clicks, do you put video in the 360 or put 360 in the video? I put video in the 360. So with Kuula and a couple of the other 360 viewers, you can of course make your hotspots to link from room to room to room. Also in Kuula, they have a link to a card where you can pop up a still image. You could put some audio in there, or you could link a YouTube video. So if you've got a YouTube video about the day that you were out kayaking at Watson Lake, and let's say you've got some video of paddling up to the dam, and while you were there, you took your drone out, you did some 360s, you can now build that YouTube video right into your 360. So that is completely and totally awesome. And let me change this one more time, and I'll take you over there real quick, Corey. And good morning, Davenport. How you doing today? I got your email, and I also subscribed to your channel. So here we go. There's that player. So I'm just going to click on it. So I was in the 360 virtual tour. I was building it with Kuula, and I got to a point where I was, facing out toward the dam with those 360 shots, and I said, hey, you know what? I've got a couple of great videos that I've posted on YouTube over the years of flying around the granite dells. So let's give people that idea. And the video is actually taking place where the 360, where I just left that 360, because it's all over near the man-made dam that, helps keep Watson the way it is. I don't know if you noticed that on the video, so I'm just going to rewind really quick. There's a very angry hummingbird that morning, and you can see right here, there's the hummingbird flying around. So it was harassing the drone a little bit that morning, but it was also a riot to see that come up on screen as I was flying. But yeah, hummingbirds are aggressive little ones, aren't they? I used to watch them on our back porch at the other place, and man, they get into it. So yeah, Corey, if you've got a YouTube video that you'd like to place into one of your 360 tours, you can. Let's say that you're doing interior work for a realtor. Well, you could go through that room by room, but if there's a really special room in there, you could do one of your higher end still photos, maybe do a window pull, and have that all clickable from within the 360 tour. So, you've walked people through, but then you've done a couple of really high end stills, let's say, or you've also walked through the home afterward and shot some video because maybe the realtor wanted some video as well. Well, you can build that video right into the 360 tour as well. So you could make the 360 tour the hub of your overall presentation. That's going to depend on the realtors you're working with. And if you're not just doing real estate, but you're doing projects like this where we've gone to multiple locations last summer to show off places, we can tie all these together, and then we can tie the aerial to the terrestrial to the video, and suddenly you've got this full-on presentation from just your 360 viewer. And by the way, you don't have to have things auto-rotate. I just set it to auto-rotate this morning because I knew that I'd be talking to you guys on camera. So that's why it's doing the auto-rotate. So hope that answers it well. Oh, by the way, whenever I'm taking a look over at the right-hand side to see what people's comments, now with this setup, it should be that when I move around, it doesn't drop out anymore. So let me know if that's what you guys are experiencing, that there's no more dropout there, because I really like to do that. Oh, I left that up a little too long. Sorry about that. So anyways, let's flip back here and talk about that weekend of audio testing. So number one, the setup that I have right now on the iMac, and next week it'll be on the Mac Mini, is I've got the Rode Wireless Go plugged into the headphone jack here. Okay, that's something you can do. The receiver actually has three settings: low, medium, and high. Right now, I've got the output on medium, and I had made that determination. I've got OBS up here, so I was actually playing with OBS. So, all right, here comes the infinite window for you. For those of you who don't know what OBS is, it's a great screencasting program, and it's also open source and free. So if you want to start doing screencasts, I can't recommend OBS enough. So I have multiple setups up here for our streams. So I got a standard stream, a Udemy stream for my Udemy classes, a live stream that I had tweaked a couple things and added some things to. And so each of these different ones has different settings for microphones and things. So as I was working around last week and over the weekend, I've settled on having the Rode at medium output, and I've got the Wireless Go at -2 dB. So, and I'm hoping that that's coming across good and it's not poppy and crackly for any of you. Let's take a look. Thinking of attaching Insta360 to my Phantom 4 Pro. One click 360 instead of the 26 pics from the drone. Yeah, Corey, I've actually seen Russ over at 51 Drones attached. I can't remember which one of the Instas it was, but he attached an Insta to his drone as well, and that's an interesting concept to play with. I don't mind the 26 images, and I like the fact that, if you're in a hurry and you just want something quickly, because these still look really good. And one of the other things I got to figure out how to do is we've been playing some of our 360s on our big TV out in the living room. They look crisp. They look sharp. They're really awesome looking. Okay, so anyways, on the OBS, you can see right down at the bottom. So there's what it's looking at for my audio. We're starting to get to a bit of a hot mic situation. If I were to click this up to the loudest output, if you're using headphones, you'd probably hate me, so I'm not going to do that. But it's just one simple little button on the Rode Wireless Go where I can give it a click and it'll bring it up to the top, and then I can give it a click again and it'll bring it to the lowest output, and then again back to the medium output. So I'm going to move this off screen. So what I have found, because I've been using the Rode Wireless Go for more than a year, usually for outdoor situations, I've got a pretty unique situation that I use when I go out in the field. So I bring along my iPhone 8 Plus and my iPhone 8, and I actually plug the Wireless Go into one of the iPhones running Filmic Pro. And what I have found is setting to the lowest output possible on the Wireless Go and running it through Filmic, I get my best audio results. I mean, really clean audio results. And, plugging in here this weekend, I was finding a lot of background hiss, and I really want to eliminate some things. So I found a new tool for my new standalone classes for cleaning up some echo. And I also found a tool for the audio as well to get rid of some of that audio. And so let's pop up my notes again, and I'm just going to hit the next one. So this weekend, I spent a good bit of time playing around with this. I made a decision to buy a couple of these, and I don't work for these guys, and I don't even know if they have an affiliate program. But I grabbed myself the echo remover and the audio denoise. Now, I'm not running either of those on the live stream. These are specifically for when I'm in Final Cut Pro for cleaning things up. I need to find out if there's better filters out there for OBS. I'm sure there are. I just haven't taken the time, so maybe I'll do that later this week as well. The whole reason why I was messing around so much with audio this weekend is I've got a client job that I'm actually doing tomorrow, so I'll be headed out of here at probably 6 a.m. To meet the client, so it's going to be a real early one. And I'd like to get some good audio going with it as well, because this is part of a serious presentation for their company. And so when I get done with today's live stream, I actually have to call my contact back to coordinate a couple things about in-building access and out-building access. And I'm not going to say any more about that. You guys will see the final results probably in a week or two. We've got 2 weeks before the final project is due, so I might take a little more time editing. But I was getting really frustrated in this location. So like I said, we've switched homes, and I was noticing more echo than I could really deal with in Final Cut. So I went and took a look around, and I remember finding these guys years ago. So I picked out the echo remover and the audio denoise, and then I spent some living room time and I spent some outside time. And let's take a look here. So now this one can come up. So I was hanging out in the living room a good bit over the weekend doing some testing. And so we've got the Canon M50 here, and it is in a smart rig cage. Once again, not sponsored by any of these people. I'd love to be, though. And we've also got the small rig for the iPhone. And so what I normally do is I actually hook up the Rode wireless receiver. I plug that into the iPhone and I throw Filmic up on screen. I've got my settings already done for Filmic. I jump over to the Canon M50 and I set that up for recording. So I set the video recording up first on the Canon, and then immediately I follow that up with the iPhone to get the audio, and afterward I sync these clips. So I actually synchronize the two clips where the audio is lined up very nicely. We kill the audio that comes right out of the Canon EOS M50, and we depend on the audio that comes out of the iPhone. So it's really a great setup. And yes, I have hooked the Rode Wireless Go up to the Canon M50 as well. I've played with those settings, but I've always found too many pops and that things can suddenly become overdriven too much, even with tweaking the input settings on the M50 itself and playing with the Rode Wireless Go. The big thing that I'm doing here is I'm trying to minimize how much post-processing I'm having to do, and that Wireless Go setup with Filmic on the lowest output from the Wireless Go is awesome and perfect. It had just a tiny bit of hiss yesterday when I was doing my final tests to make my decisions, and so that denoise played a huge role in it. It cleaned it up instantly, and I was also testing input to the M50. So what happens, this also gives me kind of a fallback for if something really hoses up. I am recording audio on the Canon M50. It's audio that I'm not normally displaying. So it's not the audio that you're going to hear on one of my YouTube videos. Let me look back over here again. No drops. Good morning, everyone. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? Good to see you this morning. Sorry if I missed you for a little bit. So I am recording audio on that M50, but I don't like the quality of it coming out of the Wireless Go. So I do have that set on auto because I'm not caring about it too much, and it's keeping it a little louder for when I sync. But let's say something really bad happened to the audio out of the iPhone as well. I've got backup audio. So I've got audio that's coming directly out of the M50, and I've got audio with the wireless setup on the iPhone, and I could also set that up with another one of my cameras as well. So I could use either iPhone, I could use the 7D, so I do have some additional options. But one of the nice things when I'm splitting the audio this way is the fact that I've got a fallback. So if something terrible happens, and one video that I did for a cartoonist 2 years ago, the worst thing in the world happened. We were recording, and one of our audio inputs turned itself off. It had actually overheated, so it wasn't a battery issue or anything, but because we also had audio coming in from a second source, I was able to work with that source and get it close enough to where it wasn't too noticeable for viewers that we had actually switched inputs. But so there's my two-part setup, and this is actually going to be out on the road with me. Also, we've got the Lume Cube there. And speaking of the Lume Cube, so the lighting in here with the green screen, I've got a Neewer over here. It's a studio light, and I actually had two of those till our move. Here I plugged both the Neewers in, and I was setting up the green screen, and one of the bulbs, one of these Here, let me grab this real quick. And I can actually take you with me while we're moving around in here now with the wireless. That's awesome. So, continuous light, I ordered in a new bulb, but this is, okay, 85 watts for photography. This is one of the bulbs for replacement in that newer stand. Unfortunately, that one that we moved over here, not only did it blow out the bulb and sound like someone blew up a firecracker in here, um, it wasted the fixture, so it actually killed it. So I'm down one of my studio lights, but over on this side, I actually have the Lume Cube set to 50%. It's a little closer, but I'm getting nice even light here. So I've got that newer over there, and I've got the Lume Cube, and that's working out just fine. And both of these things will be coming along with me tomorrow too. So there's my portable setup, by the way. So it's an old Manfrotto tripod, and then I love this adapter. I bought this, oh, maybe 2010. So I was using it for a tether table for doing indoor shoots at my studio. And so I would actually have my laptop up on here and one or two cameras and then one other device for recording the whole session. But so I was doing tethered shooting right into Lightroom so that we could see the results with the models that we were working with at the time. So that was, pretty awesome setup, and it's been with me now for over a decade and still fantastic. And if you can't see, so I've got one ball head, 2, 3, 4. So if I needed to set up anything else, maybe I want to put the tether table here, maybe I want to put a GoPro over on this side, whatever. I can have 4 things on this, which is really convenient. And part of what we're going to be doing tomorrow is some indoor shooting and some interviewing with a couple of employees at this business. So this is going to be really nice for our interiors. So the Lume Cube, by the way, is just killing it here. I've got it set at 50%, and it was on the readout, it was saying I got about 2 hours time. And let me just run around there real quick. Since I'm not tethered, I can do this. All right, so it is telling me right now that I have about 1.1 hours. So it's running down a little faster than the screen told me at the start. But we have been streaming here now for almost 40 minutes. Let me make sure I haven't missed any. All right, good morning. So still no drops. That's awesome. Okay. But so yeah, this has been my weekend messing with audio. I spend more of my time actually shooting stills and shooting drone stuff. And so the video stuff sometimes, I'm still, I know that I can improve. We can all learn together at times. So anything I can do to actually bring up the quality, not only of these live streams, but the new classes that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to try to do that for you. So there we go. That was a big thing on my audio testing. And like I said, so I like the setup for me where I'm using the iPhone basically as the audio capture, but it's also capturing video for me too. So, I've got 2 different angles on the subject, which is really nice. I've got 2 audio outputs in case something happens to one of them. Then I always have backup equipment with me as well. So see, I'm running through my process in my head right now for what tomorrow's shoot's got to be. All right. And before we go, so before I wrap this one totally up, I can't believe I got through all my topics so quick today. And just remember, comment down in the show notes below. Please feel free to ask questions. I do get them answered. I also, if you're rude or you use foul language or anything on the channel when you're talking, or you're all caps people, most likely you're going to be taken off the channel. So I had a very rude person yesterday writing all caps. Felt like writing back to him and saying, the all caps thing, I'm kind of over it. But just strange behavior. They were commenting on a video from 2 years ago, which is a little out of date today. All right, the final thing before we go from here, by the way, so that company with the audio denoise and echo remover is Crumple Pop. So I like their name too. And they do have the, from what I've seen so far, using just the denoise and the echo remover, this is pretty amazing. I'd really like to see what the wind remover can do, and I might consider that one down the road, because I do a lot of outside video for when we're doing some of the classes. And wind does show up. Prescott gets super windy during the spring, and we're coming into the spring soon. So if I'm doing things outside, I might just want a wind remover. But before we wrap it up and go, so like I said earlier in the video, some new classes, and one of them is a total freebie, and it's just a high-level overview of doing 360 virtual tours with our new to the concept. It might be a really useful video for them. So right there, this one here, 360 virtual tours from the air, building tours with drones. It should say free down here, but since I'd taken a look at it yesterday, it treated me not only as the admin, but also as a student. So now it just says 0% complete instead of the big free that should be there. And so there's the lectures for that one. We do an intro about doing the 360. We're going to be covering here an overview of the 360 drone captures. What you saw, that Watson Lake flight that we were looking at here today, that one is in it. And then offloading images. So I said at the start of the series that I wasn't going to go back out into the field to refilm any of this. And then I decided, you know what, let's go out into the field. So it's actually just very recent flight, very recent capture. So you can actually see what comes out of the drone, what comes out of my Mavic 2 Pro. And I also made note in it that, you know, most of our drones today can do the 360. Yep, video's getting blurry and jerky again, Corey. I'm seeing it here. It's telling me as well that the stream quality is not as good right now. My apologies. Hopefully it's going to catch back up. So, and it will catch back up when YouTube does the final processing of this as well. So if it gets weird in a live stream, you can always go back and watch it afterward. You can check it out afterward when YouTube has finished compiling it. Let me see one more time here. It's still bouncing back and forth, so it's the network here this morning, and I do apologize for that. I think I might start using my mobile hotspot in Verizon because it sure did produce great results in the stream the other week. And so anyways, I actually take you out in the field. We do a flight. We talk about the setups on the Mavic 2 Pro. You don't have to be a Mavic 2 Pro owner to do 360s. I also have a Mavic Pro as well. I use Litchi for that. Works fine. Makes really nice 360s as well. But so if you're new to the concept, it's a freebie, and you're very welcome to give it a whirl. I'm going to arrow back really quick. And we have been growing the classes here. So the other thing that we had launched the other week that I announced here was a beginner's Rico Theta Z1 class. So that class is up and available. And then finally, building 360-degree virtual tours with Kuula. You're going to see more of these with different 360 rendering packages. So stay tuned for that. If you're already using one, if you've got an interest in a specific one that you'd like to see come up, let me know. The next one that I'm planning to do is actually on Theta Z. Like I said, I love the features of Theta Z, and maybe since last time I used it, some things have improved. I'm hoping that because while all the features were awesome, the image quality wasn't as great. So after doing Theta Z, I think that we're going to do Cloud Pano, and I'm just going through some of the more popular ones that I've found interesting to me as well as a consumer, so other ones that I considered, basically. All right, so let's close that one down, and there's that Watson Lake one more time. And yeah, I'm still getting the warning here, so I am sorry about that. I've been using Huggin and MetaReel. MetaReel is one of the ones coming up, Davenport, that I'm going to be doing some more with, because I do like the fact that they can build the dollhouse for you. And so for those of you who don't know what that means, it's okay. MetaReel will actually do a 3D rendering of all of your rooms after you put them together. They can even do the seaming and setup for you. They do charge per image. But if you're wanting to do something super high-end with the 3D dollhouse effect, MetaReel is incredibly interesting and something you might pay a visit to. So Davenport, I already signed up for my account with MetaReel. I've already done a little bit of testing. So they are on my hit list as well for upcoming ones where we're taking a bigger walkthrough. And when I do these bigger walkthroughs, so like the putting ones together with Kuula, for instance, I'm going through every one of the features. We're not skipping past the features. We're not ignoring things and saying, you don't need to know about that. We're taking a look at all of the features because a lot of these are feature rich. Kuula has a lot of features. Compared to Theta, it doesn't. Theta has way more features. So each of them has their merits and also their detractions. And we're going to talk about all of that through that upcoming series that's hitting AZ Drone, az-drone.teachable. So there you go. All right, so I will leave you one more time with, let's see here. So I've been getting all of these things ready. Oh, I closed that one down. Oh, well. But I was going to say I'll leave you with that final image of the tripod setup. There we go. Because I really do absolutely love this setup. So this is a nice portable setup. Not only can I do interior stuff with this, but when I'm doing some of my class recordings outside, this is probably what you see near me. So I also have a tether table that I carry around with me. Anyways, thanks for stopping in and spending some time this morning. I hope this one was informative and you found this interesting. And I hope you liked the series of topics. Like I said, in the comments down below, don't forget to like and subscribe, but in the comments, let me know what other things you'd like to see. I'm doing some more of the 360 stuff because we're gearing up for the spring here when we start getting into that tourist season again, and we will be putting up new stuff over at Explorer Prescott. By the way, if you wanted to see, let me find this one more time, the collection of virtual tours that we have been doing last year. This is explorerprescott.org. This is one of our other sites, and this is kind of more of a for fun site, but we have thrown together a lot of virtual tours. So when you're thinking about, why would I want to do a 360 virtual tour of my drone just for fun? If you show off some amazing places in your community or places that you're visiting and you start getting some throughput from people, it will catch the attention of potential clients. So it doesn't hurt to build your portfolio with your stills, your video, your 360s, and any other services you're offering, your 2D and 3D models. And I will say to you that we've also uploaded some of these things to Google Street Views. And in the case of one place called Goldwater Lake, and let's find it, there it is, Goldwater Lake right there. So we did a tour through there. In under 6 months' time, we've had 34,000 views of it. That's madness. 34,000 views on Street Views. And we've had thousands and tens of thousands of views on some of our other virtual tours around town. With the pandemic and everything, sometimes people are not getting their travel in. They wanted to visit Prescott or whatever location you're in. And, if we provide them with tours like this and some high quality fun stuff, those random viewers can become customers. And I can say that for a fact because I've actually done work for some clients based on some of the other stuff that they found here on Explorer Prescott. So that's awesome. So we've also done work for clients showing off their locations. So we don't have every virtual tour up here, but they can become valuable. So think outside of the box. If you're having a slow week, not getting a lot of client calls, what can you do to buff your portfolio? There's plenty of things to do. Okay, everyone.